Good day, everyone. Before I explain my computations, let me first give a short scientific background about how roller coasters work. A roller coaster operates based on the principles of classical mechanics, particularly gravitational potential energy, kinetic energy, gravity, and the law of conservation of energy. Mechanical energy in a system is the sum of potential energy and kinetic energy. In an ideal system without friction, this total mechanical energy remains constant. Now, applying this concept to my mini roller coaster, the starting height of my track is 2 feet, which is equivalent to 0.61 meters. The marble has a mass of 0.02 kilograms. We use 9.8 meters per second squared as the acceleration due to gravity. The marble begins from rest, meaning its initial velocity is 0. Let's analyze what happens at different positions. First, at the top of the hill. At this point, the marble has maximum gravitational potential energy because gravitational potential energy depends on height. The formula is GPE equals mgh. Substituting the values, GPE equals 0.02 times 9.8 times 0.61. This equals approximately 0.12 joules. Since the marble is not yet moving, its kinetic energy is 0. This means all the mechanical energy in the system is stored as gravitational potential energy. The total mechanical energy is therefore 0.12 joules. Now, as the marble begins to roll down, gravity exerts a downward force. According to Newton's second law of motion, a net force causes acceleration. Because of this acceleration, the marble gains speed. Let's examine the halfway point. Half of 0.61 meters is 0.305 meters. Using the same formula, GPE equals 0.02 times 9.8 times 0.305. This equals approximately 0.06 joules. We observe that the gravitational potential energy decreased from 0.12 joules to 0.06 joules. However, energy cannot simply disappear. According to the law of conservation of energy, the total mechanical energy must remain 0.12 joules. Therefore, the lost 0.06 joules of potential energy has been converted into kinetic energy. So at halfway, GPE equals 0.06 joules. KE equals 0.06 joules. This shows a direct transformation of energy from stored energy into motion energy. Finally, let us analyze the bottom of the hill. At the bottom, the height is 0. Therefore, gravitational potential energy becomes 0. Since total mechanical energy is conserved at 0.12 joules, all of it must now exist as kinetic energy. So, KE equals 0.12 joules. To calculate the velocity, we use the kinetic energy formula. KE equals 1/2 mv squared. Substituting the values, 0.12 equals 1/2 times 0.02 times v squared. 0.12 equals 0.01 v squared. V squared equals 12v, approximately 3.46 meters per second. This confirms that the marble reaches its maximum speed at the lowest point of the track. Now, if we include a loop in the roller coaster, circular motion becomes involved. At the top of the loop, the marble must maintain a minimum speed to provide the necessary centripetal force. If its speed is too low, gravity will overcome the circular motion requirement, and the marble will fall. That is why the starting height must be sufficiently higher than the loop height, to ensure enough kinetic energy is available. In conclusion, this mini roller coaster demonstrates fundamental physics principles, including gravitational force, Newton's laws of motion, conservation of mechanical energy, and energy transformation. At the top, energy is stored. As the marble descends, energy transforms. At the bottom, energy becomes fully kinetic. The total mechanical energy remains constant throughout the motion. This experiment shows that roller coasters are not powered by engines during motion. They rely mainly on gravity and energy conservation. Thank you.